Yeah, so welcome everyone. So good to have you all here. Welcome everyone in person, welcome everybody everywhere, all over the galaxy who's listening or watching now and 1,000 years from now. Thanks for being here. It's great to see a lot of people that have been to our retreats together are here tonight. And that is awesome. It makes me remember, oh yeah, that time we were in Asheville and we did that retreat. That time we were in Namastoy, we did that retreat. And the time we were in Florida, we did that retreat. So it's like, wow, we've done a lot of stuff. We've done a lot of awesome stuff, and we've shared it with you guys, Yeah. And it's other thing that I see is I just see. I haven't had a deep, conversation of sharing stories, but you just feel how much everyone's grown and evolved and shifts that they've made, and everybody feels good, they feel good energetically, and yeah, you all look good. Yes, thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
Thank you for being here.
Yes, you know it, man. Thank you as well.
Thank me for being here. Thanks, Andy. Andy's here.
Andy's here.
Behind the iPhone.
Kathy's here. This side. All our friends are here. Now, by the way, for those that don't know, we're at Trinity Center for Spiritual Living, who we thank for opening this space up for us anytime when we're in town. Very grateful. This is what we call part of our Spiritual Summit series, and this was the reunion of the Bigelow family, as well as anyone else who's automatically part of the Bigelow family.
Yeah.
They just don't know it yet.
Come here, you're kind.
That's right. But so we're very grateful to be here, and there's always something going on. Typically Wednesdays at Trinity. So if you're in the Atlanta area, come out. It's everything from sound baths, sound singing bowl classes, all kinds of cool stuff. And then of course on Sundays, the amazing Reverend Tony Crapalucci is always giving a great message. So check him out. That's my shout out.
One more important note is that this also is going to go out on iTunes as a podcast, and YouTube, and SoundCloud, and Facebook, and all sorts of places. So if you're not here now, you can be here later.
That's
you can
right.
check it out later. Even if you're here in person, you can watch it. You can watch it later.
Yeah.
So that's really awesome. And I want to note the weather, because I feel like the environment affects us. Right, so there's a massive storm happening right now outside, and I feel like storms are like a release, like a clearing, like a cleansing.
Right.
So it's sort of an opportunity to just kind of let it go, let it rain.
Yeah.
To make it rain.
Yeah. Cleansing, purifying, refreshing, all
Yeah.
that good stuff.
Yeah.
Releasing.
Yeah. So as I was telling everybody, there's a little different format. So we're just going to have sort of a dialogue and get into some discussion and open it up to share with everyone else. So any questions or comments anyone else has, people who are watching at home, any questions or comments you have, feel free to share anytime. And if Annie likes your question, she's going to raise her hand and share it with us. And also, if you're watching home, you can tell us where you're from. I always enjoy hearing where people are from. A little global connection.
Yes, yes.
So our theme is the key to love, freedom, and success. I think those three things, right?
Yes.
Love. Kathy always keeps us straight.
That's right.
It's a hard job.
Love, freedom, and success. The key to love, freedom, and success. So that's really exciting, It's like I write that up and I'm like, wow, I want to know what that is. I want to find out what that is. The key to love,
Freedom and success.
freedom,
Not
and
freedom.
success.
Is it freedom?
Freedom. Yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
Freedom.
That's
Freedom.
good.
I'm thinking of there's a folk singer from the 60s,
Richie Havens?
70s. No, woman.
Oh.
No. And she said,
Joni Mitchell.
Alison Krauss?
okay, maybe she's more of a rock singer.
Melissa Etheridge.
She's
What
way
did she
before
say?
that.
What did she say?
She said, freedom is just another word
Oh, Janice
for
Janice
nothing.
Joplin.
Oh.
Freedom is just another word for nothing left to lose.
Yes.
Yes.
Janice Joplin.
Janice Joplin.
Wow.
She is
Legend.
That's good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So one more thing I wanna bring in is that a lot of people talking about traveling and like, you know, kind of like living your dreams, you know, living your dreams and moving in that direction or being in that direction. So I want to bring that into like, you know, people may apparently perceive us as doing that. So talk about how to like live your passion and live your truth. And a lot of people in this room, I know, like made these transformations, which is awesome to see, to observe and notice. So, but we'll talk about that. Talk about that too,
Yeah,
because that ties into all of those things,
yeah, it does.
right?
You know which one pops out to me the most? Probably because it's the one I had the biggest question about. Freedom. That one seems like love. I feel might be expanding but clear, but I didn't have a lot of question around. Success didn't have a lot of question around, but freedom is like, am I free? You know, like exploring and feeling into that's like freedom. Wow. And the first thing I thought, just sitting here as you're talking, was freedom seems like an expanding thing, at least from this perspective of my journey, like an expanding thing I'm continuing to stretch into, just like love, you know, expanding into it. Whereas 20 years from now, or 20 years before, it was a lot more limited, you know, and then let go of those limitations and have expanded and see a lot more freedom in my life than I did before. And of course, I can see other things I'm ready to release and, you know, experience more freedom and more freedom. So it seems like it's a perfectly expanding part of the journey, you know, where we're going from contraction and limitation to expansiveness and experiencing more and more of that. Now that's in the metaphysical, overarching way. Then the practical way is, okay, how are you doing that? You know, how are we doing that financially, financial freedom, relationship-wise,
Yeah.
you know, and all the other ways. So,
Yeah. Well, the thing that always comes to me as being fundamental, like anything that I look at and explore, it's like the fundamental level, which is kind of why we're where we are tonight, is the consciousness level, is like where it starts.
yeah.
You know, so you can look at all these external, like just people that have, I hear about it all the time, like just people that have like $100 million and they feel like they're not free, they're like, you know, really unhappy or miserable. And people that have a lot of what was perceived as external freedom, but they don't have freedom internally. And so then you don't have freedom,
Yeah.
you know. But if you have freedom internally, then the external, that's almost like the definition of freedom.
Yeah.
Is like if you have freedom internally, then the real, true, absolute freedom, it's not going to matter what's happening, what's arising and falling externally.
Right.
So that's the freedom that excites me.
Yeah.
You know, freedom to delve into that I'm excited to delve into.
And it's funny because recently I remember, and I often find myself in this pattern of wanting to expand consciousness to connect, leave the limited perception of, you know, John or what have you. Experience that peak expansion, that oneness where, you know, it just feels different. If you remember ever experiencing it, you know you don't feel like you're identifying with a very limited person.
Yeah.
And so being able to do that at will and practice that at will is kind of like what I feel is the freedom that I like to experience. And yet, on the journey, I'm perfect exactly where I am in consciousness. You know, that's like that dance of not resisting where I'm at.
That's actually the freedom.
Yeah.
That's the amazing thing. It's like if you can be free where you are right now, like that's the ultimate freedom.
Yeah,
But if you're like, oh, I'm only, because that's the thing that I find so common in like the spiritual realm, people on a spiritual journey. It's just what you're saying, like, oh, I had this experience, it was a great experience, it was awesome, I really loved it, and I want to get back to that experience, you know, and I can't get back to it. How do I get back to it, you know? So that person's not free you know? But if you can recognize, realize, oh, this is the experience right now, you know? Even if it seems simple, like Annie talks about that, I feel like a lot about the mundane and like appreciating the mundane, you know?
Yeah.
So if you could just like appreciate, you know, chopping a cucumber or whatever it is you're doing, you know? It's like that's the ultimate spiritual experience, and then you're free.
Yeah.
You know, you're free in this moment.
Exactly.
Because you can't be free in any other moment except for this one.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the thing, is like when I realized about the now, that kind of is, when I say what's the key to love, freedom, success, that's one way you can articulate it, is like the now is the key.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you really realize that it's only ever right now, now is all there is, then everything like kind of opens up, you know?
Yeah.
But if you don't realize that now is all there ever is, then everything's kind of closed. You know? It's like opens like this whole, it's like a total game changer, you know? This whole other way of experiencing the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost funny how easy it is to forget and end up. I found myself in that pattern of reaching and striving for the change. You know, reaching and striving for the change, or looking at what I want to create or would like to have, or find myself in that pattern often. And thankfully catch myself. Sometimes I stay in it, sometimes I come back out. But regardless, applying what you said, when I'm aligning and remembering that really right now is in what is right now, without even changing it, without even having to be different, has so much abundance and so much power and so much fulfillment here and now. If I can relax, let go, and feel into it, it's like this very moment. It's like, what do I sense? Suddenly I'm relaxing, I'm feeling it, and the bliss starts to come, or whatever.
Yeah,
However it shows
yeah.
up, you know. It's like, oh yeah, I keep forgetting it's that simple. It's like, oh, wait a minute, that's right, I'm here now, just alive, I'm good. The other stuff will, you know, do what it needs to. But yeah, it's a practice. It's a practice.
Well, I think the great artists, and I include you in this category, like when you play music, I think that's what people really feel the most, is it feels like you're fully in the moment, like you're fully there, and you're like channeling the now, you know?
Yeah.
Whatever the lyrics are, whatever the sound is, like that's all great, and that's good, but it's like the now, and it opens everyone else up to sharing this moment together. And I feel like people that are, you know, we talked a bit about channeling. You know, what is channeling? What is that, right? But it's like, it starts with being fully in the now, like being really open and available, and your mind quiets, and then this great music comes through, or this great poetry, or this great speech, or this great, you know, athletic performance. It's like, you know, people call it like being in the zone, or so. I think that's where, you know, it's like you can't think your way. Like if you're trying to play a song and you're thinking really hard, you can't like I'm gonna think my way into playing a great song, you know? It's like the opposite of that. It's the total. It's this relaxing into the moment, into this present moment together,
And allowing what's arising to be, giving it expression. That's a really great analogy, because I remember starting off when playing music, having the heady stuff, you know, the distractions of, oh God, am I gonna play this right? Hope I don't miss this song.
Or another big one is I'm gonna try to play like this person.
Yeah, or I'm gonna try to be like
that's the worst. But we do that in all these aspects of our life, you know. I want to have a relationship like this person I see, or I want to play music like this, or I want to write. But it's like, doesn't the people that are really tapping into something that's genius, like they're not trying to be like anybody else. Like they're accessing just who they are, you know. And they can't even try to be themselves. It's just being open to the moment and what comes through in the moment, and then the unique signature of what you are comes through.
That relates to success to me. As you learn to do that more, and you begin to honor these desires that arise, and you learn to be more present, it's almost as if you start to let it go of the attachments to what you think you wanted to create or what needs to be different for you to be happy or whatever it is, you know. You start to be more fulfilled in the present, and then the inspiration starts to come. Like the inspiration of, oh, I feel so good right now. Oh, you know what? It would be fun to go do this. Or it would be fun to go that. Or, oh, you know what? Maybe I should call so-and-so. You know, it leads to another. Point being is that expression of being begins to lead to inspired action. And that inspired action begins to create more opportunities to amplify what you're already experiencing, that bliss, right?
Yeah.
And those are usually the things that you truly desire, whether you were conscious of it or not. It usually leads to those things. Case in point, when I got still enough to recognize what I really wanted in a relationship years and years ago after going through many of them, and I felt into, man, what's really important, and I felt it. I was like, wow, this is what I always dreamed of as a kid. Man, I wish it could be like that. And I remember feeling it just viscerally, being in that vibration, that desire, but the vibration, like the feeling, what I imagined. And then 3 days later, it happened in an amplified way. 15 years later, Kathy and I are still together, you know. But that to me was romantic love or romantic success or whatever you want to call it. But it was almost as if by getting to that place of being with what was there, what was arising, and taking the time, like I really took the time to journal things out and trying to get clear, and then finally just let go and was like, I just wish it could be like this. And I just felt that. I even let that go and thinking it wasn't even possible. Then 3 days later, it's like time stopped. I feel like that's so similar to like when we're aligning with what's really here. We're aligning and getting in touch with those real desires, like not pushing it off, but really like, oh man, this is what's present with me. It allows things to be amplified, and all consciousness seems to support it, even if we don't think it will, you know?
Yeah.
Which I think is interesting.
Yeah. One of my favorite questions, I think everyone's maybe heard this, not everyone, but a lot of people heard me say this before, is if anything is possible, what do you want to create?
Yeah.
If anything is possible, what do you want to create? And that's a question to kind of just live in. It's not a question like you ask yourself once and I ask one, because it's always like alive.
Yeah.
It's always changing.
It's dynamic.
Yeah, it's dynamic. It's dynamic. Everything okay there, Annie? So, so you ask yourself this question: if anything's possible, what do you want to create? And then you find the key is the first part: if anything is possible, because we have all these limiting beliefs, you know, all these things that we think aren't possible right away, and they come so quick that we can't even see them. You know, it's really, really difficult to ask yourself that question. You know, because right away we'll go, well, I don't have enough money, I don't live in the right place, I don't know the right people, all these different things. You know, I'm not smart enough, I'm not physically attractive, and all these different things that we put on ourselves. And it's like, just for a moment, just whatever you think is a reason why something can't happen, just put it aside, just for a moment, just for this exercise, you know, just put it aside. And if anything is possible, what do you want to create? Just like dream, because who can do this the best is children, small children. They can just really just imagine all kinds of things, you know, and just dream really freely. And I feel like when we ask ourselves that question, it gets us in touch with what you're talking about. Like, what's the real truth of what we really want to create, besides all the limiting beliefs, all these unconscious limiting beliefs of, like, you know, why we can't do this and why we can't do that. Like, I'm not saying to not look at that. You can look at that later. But right now, for this moment, if anything's possible, what do you want to create?
Yeah.
Right? And then the how comes second. So we start off with like, well, I don't know how to do it, so forget it. I can't do it. You know, I think of actually someone that you're friends with, Michael Beckwith.
Yeah.
He, I remember him talking about his spiritual center, which now, for people who don't know, is like thousands. I don't know how many thousands of people will show up.
I think
Every 9,000 people show up for every time that they have a, what do they call it, service. Every time they have a service. So he said that when he first started, he had the calling, the vision to what is there now. But he had no idea. He had no experience. He had no idea how to do it. You know.
Yeah.
But Spirit was like, don't worry about how. You don't have to worry about how. So he's like, okay. So he would just have like a few people come over to his living room and have a talk and talk to them, and that's how it started. You know, and he had no idea how it was going to get from where it is there to how it is now. It just kind of each moment just keeps showing up, and like how it reveals itself moment by moment. But we think we have to like know the whole plan. Even if we think we know the whole plan, I mean, we're in a world that's changing so fast that plan is gonna. It's like, I remember this one guy telling me, he was like some kind of business tycoon, and he was from Texas, and he's like, Plan A never works. He's like, Plan B never works. Plan C don't work either. You know, it's like you gotta keep just being open to adapting. You know, the how, and don't get fixed in like having to know the how. The how comes second.
It's so funny how even that application, like if you think about maybe your week, if you're at work or something, you know how you plan your to-dos. I've experienced this so many times, including I think yesterday. But you know, you're mapping out what you need to do, and then something unexpected comes up, and it changes your entire plan for the day. And it's just like, I think both Kathy and I are like taking a breath. Like we had some news that we had to do something yesterday evening. Oh, we found out our daughter's volleyball game. We found out what time it was, and I don't think we even planned. I didn't plan to go. I didn't even know about it. I don't think. Then she came and tell me, I'm like, it's like, wow, I got all this stuff I was gonna do tonight. It's like, whoa. So I had to let go. Actually be with what was unfolding after having that little anxiety moment, and then we even talked about, it's like, wow, it's so amazing how the things you're thinking about and you're planning and all that stuff, when life shows up differently, how easy it can be to resist what's showing up, you know, and just make yourself miserable and suffer and all that, instead of letting go and getting to that, to me, I like to call it the knowing, but that knowing that reassures that it's all good, here's what's best to do, the rest is going to be taken care of, you don't have to worry about it, you can let these little plans go you had, because it's not going to change anything, you know? So it's like, okay. Of course, we had a good time and everything worked out, but yeah, it's just funny how it's easy for us to, as you were saying with the plans, it's easy for us to not only think we've got to do it all, and got to know so much more, and end up creating suffering when those plans don't come to fruition. Plan A fails, plan B fails, plan C fails. And then when we can just let go and roll with it, just like you said, it's so much easier, so much more flowing. Invariably, every time that's ever happened to me, I can look back and I can say, even though things didn't work out according to plan, life has blessed me immensely. It's never ruined anything, really.
Yeah.
So it's amazing how we can get into those ruts sometimes. Because
No, it's really, I think it's really, the way that we work together is really awesome, inspiring. Like when we create the retreats, it's like there's this flexibility of, okay, here's the plan. We already know it's not going to go that way, so there's a flexibility to evolve with incoming information.
yeah,
You know, and I really think like this is not just like spirituality, but other stuff I'm studying, like stuff like the science and technology. It's like the key right now is being adaptable. Like that's where it's at.
yeah.
You know, things are moving like faster and faster, and there's new information coming all the time. So it could be, oh, I found out my daughter has a volleyball game, or you know, that's one example. But there's things on larger levels too. And retreats, there's new information coming in.
Yeah.
You know, we'll have a schedule, and then we'll just feel like, no, the group really like needs this here and that back here. You know, So instead of, oh, that's the schedule, no, it's like, no, that's what's happening. So it's got to be like a live response to the moment, and that's what makes a great retreat. Not just like sticking to this thing because you had it in your mind, you know. And I think that's true in like relationships and parenting, and business, and whatever you're creating or whatever you're building. It's like just again like being in the moment, being in the now, and then the plan is constantly shifting around what's arising in the moment.
It always comes back to that, for me, to that simple question: how does it feel like right now? How does it feel with how I'm being right now, with what's showing up? How does it feel? If it doesn't feel good, probably need to release or shift something in the sense internally that I'm thinking about it in order to flow with it, so it does feel good. So often, I think that's the other thing with presence, is it's not always just about being present so that you only feel this or that. It's about being present so that you're aware of also how you're navigating what is arising. So if you don't like it, if you're sick of feeling this way, like today actually, I remember detecting this pattern that was showing up in how I was feeling. Kind of mundane was the word, yeah. I felt this mundaneness, and I was just like, wait a minute, I don't think I want to feel mundane. So I just kind of shifted my alignment, got more present, and then began to actually think of all the things I was grateful for. Began to think of all the blessings around. Even looking around in my little mess I made, I was just like, wow, I can be grateful that this is a key.
You can be grateful for anything. That's the thing I learned.
This is a sign of my intelligence. Kathy and I read this article last night that said intelligent people are messy.
You brought it to me like this.
Yeah, I brought it to her. I took Kathy. I was like, look, baby, look.
Okay, that's gonna be my excuse too.
So I could be grateful that,
So you are
that I'm
so
intelligent.
Yeah, you're a
So
smart
messy.
guy.
So I was grateful for my mess. I was great, just feeling good again. It's like, man, but so much to be grateful. If we think about it and really take the time, there's so much, everything from if we can breathe, if we can see, if we can smell, hear, taste, if any of our senses work, if we're still like existing and can still choose to do anything, or if we can still choose to think anything. It's like infinite possibilities of what we can choose and feel gratitude, but oftentimes just remembering to choose it is the thing, and then being present enough to realize, wow, whatever I'm choosing right now doesn't feel that great, so let me switch it up. That's success to me too. It's like, being able to.
There was a guy, Will Pye. He was a guest on my podcast a couple weeks ago, and he has the saying, radical gratitude, which is kind of what I explore. So I've been putting out this thing on Facebook, off and on for a while, but more frequently lately. What are you grateful for today? So people share different things they're grateful for, right? So I'm like exploring being grateful for things that people wouldn't normally be grateful for. Right? And sometimes I'll put people, what's wrong? Why'd you put that? Why'd you put pain? Why'd you put, like
That's
they don't understand it.
Yeah.
But then today, we pulled up just up front here, and we had a pretty long drive, and it was like really humid. It was about to storm, so it's like about as humid as it could possibly be without like raining. And I opened the door, and there's like these. I was doing something where I was still sitting in the car, and these little mosquitoes were like biting me, And I put down grateful for small mosquitoes. That was a hard one. That's what I put. Grateful for small mosquitoes. Yeah. But so there's something I want to get into that I think is really interesting about like trust, feeling into what feels good, right? But I'm exploring a couple things around that. So one is it possible to feel, let's say, discomfort or feel uncomfortable and have that be actually the right direction to go?
It's funny you mention that because I left something out. With that mundane feeling, I realized I was resisting, and I began to just accept that, and that's what really brought me into gratitude. Like it started from what was, and then moved on from there. But to your point, I think a lot of the times, one of the experiences of the discomfort isn't really the issue most of the times.
Mhm.
Whenever we're like wanting to stop something, it's typically whatever's going on in the meaning side of things that's creating the what's the word, the suffering of the discomfort, right?
Mhm.
Whereas, like it's like when we go work out.
That's
You know,
that's
That's what you're thinking?
Yeah.
So I'll let you say it then.
Well, no, I was thinking, because I think do what feels good, do what feels bad, but how do you gotta break that down, you know, because it's like it's broad categories. So, like, so let's say I've been out of shape for a long time and I want to get in shape, I want to exercise, you know, and I go back to the gym after a long time and it doesn't feel good, you know, it feels uncomfortable, you know, the muscles hurt, the body's sore, but even though it doesn't feel good, there's this deeper feeling, right, that you can say feels good. There's this deeper feeling if it feels right or it feels true, and like you feel good in following that, you know?
There's a growth in it. As we know, working out leads to not only physical growth, but there's also the willpower. Your willpower, your strength in both physicality and psychologically can grow.
Yeah.
You know the guy Will Hoff or
Wim Hof.
Wim Hof or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like the practices he teaches are teaching strengthening not only the will, but like there's other benefits, the immune system, all this stuff.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, like what do they call him? Iceman.
Iceman.
Yeah, the Iceman. He has all these world records for being in cold, freezing water, and takes people to retreats, and they practice it. And there's even scientific studies that show.
Yeah. So then people said, oh, you're only resistant. You're just good at cold. You're just good at dealing with cold. So he's like, okay. So then he ran a marathon in the Namibian desert without any water. So he ran 26 miles without any water.
Yeah.
Under this burning sun.
And the beautiful thing I've been exploring, and you may have seen this too, that same pushing through resistance and pushing through the pain or the burn, working out, seems directly related to the same sort of practice we can do to push through in our spiritual practice, to be aligned when we don't want to be aligned.
Yeah.
To be, is this that, I call it willpower. I don't know what it really, that's a label, you know, it's the best one I can think of or feel into. But there's something like, in those moments where you, like I felt this resistance to what was arising, and I had a clear, just aligning, because I didn't like the feeling. So just aligning to be like, all right, let me expand my awareness, be present with what it is, and then that no one coming through to say, you know what, the best and highest feeling is this direction, you know, and it means push through, use your will to push through. And oftentimes we think of alignment as just surrender and letting go and flow, but there's also the push. There's also the
It's like,
I
I think
way
it's
it expresses.
feminine and masculine.
yeah.
Each has its
Exactly. It's so
value.
whatever label we slap on it, I only know what it feels like, right? It's like this resolve, this determination to push through, just like when you're working out. You're getting that last rep in, it's burning, like, you know, blood vessels popping everywhere. But you're determined, like, I'm not going to give up. Gonna get I did it, you know?
Yeah.
It's like
That was good
push.
imagery.
Yeah. That pushes. That willpower, to me, is that same energy oftentimes, or as of late I've been experiencing, to push through certain things. And to, it's almost like getting up when you don't want to get up, or, you know, we all experience it in some way, but the practice of that, getting stronger, I think, may be also related to our ability to, no, well, not our ability, but our will to accept what is, and our will to let go when there's like tight attachment.
It's like a paradox.
Yeah, isn't it weird?
Yeah.
So there's a I know they're related, but I just know they feel different.
Yeah.
but I'm sure it's all the same.
Yeah, well, what comes up for me is we get comfortable in our little box. You know, this is my little world. This is my thing. You know, I watch this TV show every night. I do this. We get these routines, and if to move out of that, to evolve, can feel uncomfortable. You know, and so that's what I think is interesting. Of like, that could feel bad. It could look, it could feel bad, but actually, it's not. It's actually the way that we're being called to. It's called our heart. So it's like we're like creatures of comfort. We're creatures of routine, but we're also called to, from this path, we're called to continue to evolve our consciousness and grow. You know.
That's right.
So it's like there's this level of embracing discomfort. You know, and kind of stretching your comfort zone and showing up for things that you may not be used to. It may be new experiences. It may require a lot of humility. You may be a beginner. You know, and just like showing up and being out of your comfort zone, and then you feel good in that. You know, even if you don't feel necessarily good, even if the feeling is uncomfortable. And that's another thing. Like, there's feelings that they're not bad. We're just not used to them.
Yeah.
So we feel because we're not used to them. Like, oh, this is uncomfortable. You know. All these people being like all vulnerable and sharing authentically. I'm not comfortable with this, you know. If you stay with it, you'll feel comfortable, you know. It'll be and that'll be your norm, you know. And that's where there's freedom, you know. The freedom to be yourself and sharing is really.
Yeah, that's so good. That's part of that expansion.
Mm-hmm.
Letting go of these blocks and limitations we have to this, that, and the other. It's also what we're describing reminds me of the first lessons I remember channeling. Kathy and I would be in these sessions and we get to clarify our intention, and it would keep coming back to clarifying our intention. And that broadened. At first we thought it was just the what. Okay, well, what do we want to do? Then later that's a start, and then later we got to get into the vibration of why do you want this? Why do you want that? What? And what are you really after, feeling wise? Like what do you think that's going to give you? So practice that. All this is saying, even to go to that point, like we think of the things we want. We think of success for me, I always think of success as fulfilled. Like what's fulfillment? And in any moment we can be fulfilled, but we've got to choose it. Okay, well, how do I do that? I feel like the practices of being present, or whatever practices we use, help us engage the will to get stronger at being present, stronger at being alive, stronger at being with what is arising. And then we can actually find or experience that fulfillment and start to see the perfection with what's unfolding, right? Like most times we miss that because we're thinking about what we do or don't want to change, or you know, what we regret and all this other crazy stuff. To completely miss the perfection and the fulfillment now. But once we're in that place of being present, and we're in that place of nowness, let's just say, or alignment, then being able to clarify our intention. Clarify, in other words, what is the desire that's within you? Because fulfillment and bliss are dynamic because they are changing. It's almost like, for a very practical experience, man, I'd love some chocolate right now. I can imagine the taste of chocolate. That might be fulfilling, or I can go get a piece of chocolate. That might be fulfilling. Either way, once I hit fulfillment there, now there's new desires arising.
Yeah.
Ooh, right now, I want to go and have some coffee. That would go good with, or some wine. That red wine would go good with this chocolate. You know, it's like always new desire. That cycle of fulfillment, desire, birthing, and fulfilling, birth, beginning and ending. You know, just a beautiful cycle of continuous oscillation, or whatever you want to call it. So the clarity of intention when we're present, I think the beauty of that is it helps us get more into the seed of the desire, or the desire which is the seed of what we're really after. It helps us answer that question, why, to get to that feeling, just like that analogy we were talking about earlier. But I think presence helps us do it more effortlessly, or alignment, for those familiar with that, or being here now, etc. allows us to feel it, allows us to experience it vibrationally, and then allows it, then that's fulfillment, that's success to me, but then allows us to receive that inspired action of how to amplify it even more in the creation we're doing in the physical world, right? And like, wow, I feel good, I feel free, the question you asked, there's limitless possibilities. Ooh, it'd be great to experience this. Oh, you know what, I could do blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden these possibilities start happening and ideas start to come and flow versus the limited, small lives we keep ourselves trapped in. So anyway, what you said made me think about that whole process.
So I'm gonna like, tell you what I hear you saying. So I hear you saying, being present, starting with being present, and then when you're present, you get like really touched like authentically with your desire.
Yeah.
You can like speak it, and then speaking it or verbalizing it, then you can listen for the response of how to bring that into being.
Well, I think it's two-part, yes, though the part before it is we actually experience it now, right?
Yeah.
Like the seed, that
You
seed
feel like it's here.
Yeah. Like when I was clarifying what I want in a relationship, for instance, that's the best example I always think of because of how profoundly it came and how quickly and like super otherworldly the experience was. I literally felt in that moment what I desired as a child and my romantic idea of the world stopping, the birds chirping, and every time just standing still, and you just having this otherworldly connection. You know, I always believed that as a kid, but it hadn't happened. Like, I had waited a long time. You know, all these relationships was just like, but I'd somewhat forgotten about it, kind of subconsciously would come up, but that day I just really got into it and realized that was probably the ultimate important thing I've been desiring. And literally 3 days later it happened. I mean, like, it was non-drug related ecstasy.
So why
Just the dance, we're just dancing, and it was just pure ecstasy. You're just like, what is going on here? Did someone slip something in my drink? No, I wasn't thinking that, but that's what it felt like, right? So this is unreal, and but that's what I dreamed of and wanted and desired, and that desire was the seed. And then when I got present and clear, I actually experienced it. Like I was remembering, oh, this is what, and those vibrations were there in that moment. I had created it and amplified it in that moment very clearly, like, whoa.
So it's kind of like you became that in yourself vibration.
Yeah, but I didn't know that's what I was doing.
Right.
You know, I kind of stumbled into it. My intuition or my higher self knew, but I was just kind of stumbling along trying to figure it out. And then 3 days later, it gets amplified. Like the situation comes to where it just goes, and I'm confused again. Like, what is going on here? Oh my God, you know. And it's like, I don't think we have to consciously always know, but I think if we're able, because the reality is we're always creating that way. Literally, what in this moment, whatever vibrations and frequencies we're experiencing, feelings, thoughts, and all that mixture of what's going on presently is responsible for, you know, everything that's transpiring anyway, but not only from here, but from every point of consciousness. Like we're all creating this simultaneously, right?
Yeah.
The virtual reality.
Yeah.
So, but
One of my favorite subjects, like your son.
that's right. Yeah, he's on his VR now.
Yeah.
But the consciously be able to choose, that's the freedom part to me. Is like as we're learning how to do it in a way that, you know, like there's being present, and then there's that desire for more experiences, more this, that, and the other, right? Like today I was present, giving thanks and feeling good after I got over my whatever I did in my practices this morning. It was just feeling really good, and then I was getting inspired action of, oh, here's some cool things to do. Then things come up that might make me feel anxious for a minute, and then I practice again and be like, okay, be present, don't worry about future stuff. And then I can start choosing again what I really want to feel is this feels like success to me. Like this project I'm working on, what feels like success? this feels like success. What does it feel like? It feels like this. It feels like, wow. I can verbalize it, like you said, give it a label. But it's that creating that feeling of it, yes, giving it a label, and then that inspired action seems to flow from there. It's like today, what project we're working on, I had all kinds of inspired action. It just felt good doing it all. It was exciting. It's like a game, like, oh, and stuff started flowing in, and you're just responding to it. Yeah, it feels like playing basketball. You know, your favorite video game or something.
Yeah.
Instead of work, like literally today, my work schedule and all the stuff I was doing, literally just felt like playing a video game. It was so cool. It's just fun. So anyway, that's what I was trying to say. But
Yeah, no, yeah. There's another component that I want to bring in that I think adds this other layer to it. And when you can get in that present, like really authentic with your desire and really like verbalize it and then feel it.
yeah,
And then like to ask, you can verbalize it different ways, but what is for the benefit of all the whole? What's for the benefit of all beings, you know? So then it's not just like desire for me personally, it's this is what's best for everyone, for the whole. But you can't really conceptualize it with your mind, because I can't conceptualize it. I don't think anyone can really conceptualize everything, right? But you can feel it, and you can feel like you're moving from that place.
yeah,
And then it's like being plugged into like the ultimate power. You know, it's like this ultimate power core. It's like this. It's like that's when it's like, oh, this is why I'm alive. Like this feels awesome. You know.
that's right.
So it's like you're basically. I remember one time you told me you have a little bit of a trigger with this word, but we'll see if it.
Let's see if I let it go.
You're of service to the whole. You know, you're of service to others.
What, of service?
Yeah, you said you didn't like that word too much.
I don't remember that.
It was one of our previous podcasts. You're like,
must have been a phase.
So you-
I'm over it now.
yeah, it's over. So it's being.
Or was it selfless service?
Oh.
Because selfless service, I feel like, is a misnomer.
Well, that's what I was just gonna say. I think actually when you're really when you're seeing your son, when you're really of service to the whole,
Yeah.
It feels the best for you.
Yeah.
That's the amazing thing. It's like a win-win.
Yep.
You know, it's like
That's
you feel like this is why I'm alive. This is why I'm here. You know, this is what it's all about. And then you feel like you're in a state of love.
Yeah.
So there's like romantic love. There's sexual love. There's you know relational love. And then there's like this wide open like you know like spiritual mystical God taking you over love.
Yeah.
Which can imbue all those other kinds of love.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. And to me, all of them are expressions of
Yeah, they all can be expressed as that, exactly.
Yeah. The oh wow. The selfless
Mm-hmm.
thing, the selfless service or what have you. To me, we get these ideas of, oh, okay. Like I remember hearing, if you want to succeed, go help somebody else succeed. Or if you want to be happy, go serve. Or blah, blah, blah. You know, all these things. And it was so confusing to me for a while until I started getting inquired that in order to really go and serve someone, you got to have something.
Mm.
In order to really give something to someone, you have to get it. You have to have it. So I think service can be a path to helping us expand, to understand what we have, begin to create those things. But the reality is, the good feeling that comes from service is because we're choosing to be a certain thing. It's not always the doing, because the same people that go out and do an act of service, and you know, one person can go out and do it and feel miserable, feel like, oh God, these people are ungrateful, or you know, I'm trying to help these people, da 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 da, you know, it's not working out, and get frustrated.
They're caught up in a result or like expectation.
And another person can go and recognize the importance of their being, to just simply give of themselves because they have something to give. Like, you can't give what you don't have. I can't serve humanity and be a beacon of love and give love without having that, you know. And so that brings me back to the starting place is always, to me, selfish. Not selfish in the connotation of I'm doing this just for me. But I really don't believe in the idea of selflessness, because I think it's a misnomer. There's only oneness, right? And so anything we're doing is for the self, even when it means we're trying to find fulfillment here and choose it here. That fulfillment is integral to fulfillment of all consciousness. Like it's because it's interconnected. It's not, there's no separation in it. So even if I'm trying to bless and give love at an opportunity here, or out, what I think is out there, it's still for the self.
Yeah.
You know, so, but not that it'd be splitting hairs to say, to make a big deal out of it. Like, so you shouldn't say selfish. No, that's not what I mean. That would be silly. But at the same time, I think it's like one of those distinctions that really is like whether you're trying to find a way to find fulfillment and happiness, success, whatever, within, or whether you think going to give to somebody is going to help you find that. Either way, you're probably right. You know, either path can.
You're making me think, see the other side of it. So there's like the giving, being of service, and then you're saying you can't give it if you don't have it.
Right.
Well, I think the reason that so often we don't have it is we're not available to receive it.
Yes.
That's really interesting.
Yes.
Because it's like I don't have love. Well, love is all around you.
Yeah.
You know, it's there. Even it may seem like it's not, but it's there. You know, it's there. But we don't. Oftentimes, we don't feel we're worthy to receive. You know, whatever it is that there is to receive. You know, and so why is that? You know, why do we feel like we're not worthy to receive love or freedom or success or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So I think that if we feel open to receive, then we'll have a lot of these things that we feel like we don't have.
Yeah, and when we're letting go.
Now
of
we can
these-
give them.
That's it. We're letting go of these illusions of we don't deserve this and we don't deserve back to the kind of what you were pointing to earlier about we get in these ruts and man, we want that life, but we kind of limit ourselves.
Yeah.
In fact, it comes out a lot of times in our actions.
Yeah.
Man, I'd love to, you know, be able to travel and I'd love to be able to do this, but look at my finances. You know, and I haven't yet been able to create a successful business to save my life, or I had to figure out how to get rid of my day job. I'm ever gonna, you know, there's so many ways we get this desire and then we try to block it with all these ideas and concepts and limitations that it then leads to, like you talked about, getting authentic with what we truly desire and putting the label on it or the expression of it out into the external. Well, I think coming back to the feeling of what we want helps us let go of the limitations. Because one, it reminds us it's not really about the external. The external is just the amplifier. It's about what we're choosing internally to feel, right? And so suddenly we're feeling that and amplifying that desire, and we even imagine ourselves being in that situation or whatever, but we're giving it to ourselves. That's the receiving part, I think, that often we think, oh, there's some external force going to give it to us. You are the external force. You just keep thinking it's separate from you, right? So to me, it comes back down to being with that force, whatever that force is that's within you.
Yeah.
Clarifying and being with what is there so you can allow it to express as, oh, wow. Like I'm having those aha moments. Oh, wow. What I really want to feel is this. This is what I've been after all this time. Oh, yeah. Oh, that would feel. Oh, yeah. That's very clear to me. And then it will allow us to, even though I had I'm thinking back on my own experience, even though some of those blocks may still arise, I think getting clear with what is internally in those desires and allowing yourself to feel amplified gets rid of the blocks. Like we don't have it, because I wasn't in that moment of, oh yeah, this is what I want. Now I know the external's gonna line up and show. I was the exact opposite. Oh, this is what I want. Oh yeah, I feel this. But that'll never happen. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I truly thought that, but I had experienced the clarity enough and amplified that desire enough to where it overcame in 3 days
But then,
that mental block. Isn't
Yeah.
that interesting?
yeah, and then it seems like there's another crucial component is when that moment came, you said yes to it.
No, I didn't right away though.
But you,
It took me
eventually,
2 weeks.
At some point you did.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. You're right. In that moment when the opportunity arose, I did say yes to go to the dance floor and have that dance, and then I was like, what is going on? And it just carried me from
Yeah.
there.
But
So
that's a
you're right.
good point, though. Like a lot of times, vibrationally, you have to attune. Like you're not used to this new vibration you're called in. So it may take a couple weeks, and may take years, it may whatever long it takes, how long it takes. But you have to it's like your nervous system needs to adjust to this new thing that's being called into being. So that's where there can be discomfort. So it's like, oh, this is all in this new
And uncertainty,
Yeah.
and all of that.
Yeah, so that's where it could feel that, like,
Yeah.
in the extremes, it can feel like you're dying. And in a sense, the old you is dying.
Big time.
So the new you can be born.
And there's something, this is such a great example, because it's reminding me of, like the fears and the worries about what could transpire, what can come in.
Yeah.
I remember that being a very crucial time of thinking about all these worst case scenarios. Oh my God, what if this and what if that? What if I'm this and that? Just all these crazy ideas coming in that seem pretty legit possibilities at the time, but none of them turned out to be the case. But there being something underlying that pushed me forward or pulled me forward. Like the fact that I had gotten so clear about that desire when this happened, when the opportunity came, even though I was confused and afraid, there was something that made me feel it was worth trusting to move forward and acting. It's just something innate that was saying, you know what, yeah, I see this word, I see this, and this, but I'm just gonna drive forward, I'm gonna trust. And I feel like that's what we're doing all the time in our partnership. It's almost as if things will appear and the worst case scenario ideas pop in our head, or the fears and anxieties or the appearance of this and that, and then we get back to that innate desire of, but let's align, be with what is, and then feel into, we call it best and highest for all concerned, but not as in, I think you use the word benefit for the whole.
Yeah, same.
Same thing. And the way we think of it is best and highest as in what's going to feel best and highest for the whole, not what's right or wrong
Right.
type thing, right?
Yeah.
But feeling into that and trusting it, driving forward, even with the distractions and the fears and the this, that, and the other, always seem to help us let go of the distraction, let go of our focus on there, and be with what's arising, the desire or the vibration, and then move forward on the action from there. And I think that's what really thought, action, results. I don't know if it's related, but I think that process is what creates
Everything's
the
related
results.
to everything.
Yeah. But it creates the results to me. It's almost as if instead of staying with the limited thinking, the limited thoughts, we align so that we can expand into the higher knowing that gives us that awareness of what's there, because desire is from source. Desire is from, like, you have desire. It is there for a reason. It is authentically perfect. But then we label it and project it and get things in the way, right?
Yeah.
And begin to block it in its amplification and expression. As we begin to stop doing that, let go, we can actually feel into that desire, amplify the feeling of it, the vibration of it, and then the inspired action comes. And then we continue that practice, continue trusting, continue fulfilling ourselves in the moment, with each moment what arises. And then suddenly, our result is not only internal fulfillment, but literally the external begins to shape around to further amplify what we're already choosing.
There's a feeling of union.
Yeah, even if nothing changes. Isn't that funny? Like in my room when I saw the mess, the only thing that changed was my internal decision of how to look at it, right?
Yeah.
And then inspired action came, and I could do something else. So yeah.
Well, I'd love to open it up if anyone's any questions or comments here in the room or on the little box right there. Any questions or comments? Feel free to share. Okay. Kathy, you want to say something?
Sure. So it's interesting because I've really been getting a lot of stuff around habits and, habitual way of living. That what you're saying is like, stepping out of that habit is what the growth is, and it's what we resist. So it's for me, even if you have a habit of being a victim,
Yeah.
like noticing that, okay, with this project that we're working on, things are not, maybe, and sometimes are not going in the direction that we want. I have to recognize that I'll start feeling like a victim. Like, oh my gosh, we were led to do this, why isn't it going the way we're supposed to? So it's like a habit, like I'm noticing, wow, that's just a habit of me to have those thoughts. And that I'm called to break that habit. And I have to use my will to break that habit, because it's my normal way of being for however many years is what my go-to is not serving me because it doesn't feel good. So just, hearing what you guys are saying is helping me recognize again that, it's just releasing. When I recognize it and it's habitual, it may take me little steps. I might be able to do it immediately, but there's a call for stepping out of my comfort zone and doing it differently.
Yeah. I almost feel like we should repeat that for them, but maybe they heard it.
No, I think it's like
I spoke loud.
it's like it's like the way I see it is we use a lot of different terminology, but it's like we're programmed in like thousands of different ways, right? And these programs are there because on some level they've worked. That's why they're there.
Yes.
But then we're being called to something different, and those programs don't work for that where we're going next.
Right.
So we got to be like really present and be like, oh, okay, that's still that old thing, When I started looking like deeply into how we're programmed, how we're conditioned, and how we're emotionally programmed, how we're emotionally conditioned, and you know what? Like almost all of this program is based on. Anybody want to guess? What?
Survival.
That's it. That's it. Exactly. Exactly. It's there to survive. But so basically, it's like, if I say this thing and these people don't like me because I said it, I'm gonna like die. It's like it's survival. Because there was a time when that was basically true. Like we had to depend on the tribe to survive. If you were left alone, you were gonna die out in the forest. But like these things don't apply anymore. But we still have all this survival mechanism where it's very easy to survive now. So we can bring our attention to other things, higher levels of spiritual evolution and consciousness instead of just, oh my God, I'm gonna die. It's like this all this that's not really true. It was valuable like maybe 5,000 years ago, but not in 2018, right?
Yeah, time to upgrade.
Yeah, time to upgrade.
Upgrade
Time to
the
upgrade.
system.
And it can be more subtle things too, like just like I've been working. One of the things that like I feel like haven't totally had the conversation yet, but kind of like we've been working a certain way, and like maybe there's a different way to do it now, at a different time. So you're constantly looking at how to like, if these things are still valid, all this program, this condition we have.
Yeah.
And can you look at that without fear? So if things are changing, it's up to you whether you're going to be afraid of it or embrace it.
Yeah.
And I think habitually, for
Yeah.
myself, I would have fear.
Yeah.
And I'm recognizing that. So I think once you recognize it, then you can start releasing it. You kind of got to see it first.
Well, I'll tell you the key to that, which to me is the key to all of this. The one thing I said is like being in the now, but the deeper key, which is related, is knowing who you really are. Like that's the key. So it's like if you think that conditioning is you, you're identified with it, attached to it as like who you are, then you're really going to be afraid to let go of it, you know? But if you realize, oh, that's not who I am, that's just a thought pattern.
That's
you know?
such a great reminder.
Yeah, that's just a thought pattern passing by. That's not who I am. It's fine to like let that go and think a different way and do a different way.
Dude,
so
I'm sorry, you got all the same daggone.
it's
I just
very,
realized
yeah,
the same
exciting
shoes.
moment. We're recognizing we're wearing the same shoes.
We're one,
Let's
baby.
sing
We are one. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so recognizing who you really are. So who you really are is, you can use different words, right? But the words are just pointers, but you're the infinite essence, you know? You're not the thoughts, you're not the emotions, you're not the feelings, you're not the body, you're not whatever you observe is just a reflection of you, but it's not the essence of who you are. So that creates this incredible freedom, love, success. We get into what success really is, but it isn't. But it opens you up to be able to not be attached to these thought patterns and potentially to recreate them.
It begins to help you access your power more.
Yes,
Because
yes.
you realize
Totally.
what you're sensing, the vibrations, the frequencies, the sensations, the things you're seeing, the thoughts and the meaning you've all had in your head, all that's the content, or the creation, but you're the creator of it. Like it's not you, it's what you have created and experience in the virtual reality. Like it's the game that you've created, but the reality is not only can you change what you're experiencing, it choose differently, but you don't have to fear letting go of this, that, or the other, or it changing, or whatever, because you're that, like you said,
Yeah.
you're that essence.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Spiritual liberation. Anybody else? Want to share anything? I'm gonna look and see if someone really wants to share something, but it's not.
I got something
Yeah.
somebody wants to share. They're sharing it vibrationally. So raise your hand, you do this at home. Raise your hand if you feel as if, you know, some of these things are great reminders, but my life is still not showing up the way I want it to. And I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing wrong. Who feels like that? I feel like that's a statement in the air. Raise your hand. So we got one taker. Got two takers. Got some sort of takers instead of the other. Sometimes. So, because the reason I since that, I think I have some of that too. But it goes back to the very beginning if we rewind to in reality, life is showing up exactly as it should.
Yeah.
And we're exactly where we're supposed to be. Just like I was saying, experiencing the peaks, experiences of, oneness, and want to be able to do that at will. And why do I still feel limited? Like, well, I've been trying to get to that where I can always do that. Why do I still feel confined sometimes to this reality? And don't seem to be able to just snap my fingers and say, no, I won't expand right now. Because I'm supposed to be. Like, it's perfectly unfolding. This is actually what the higher, whatever's transpiring is what my highest self has chosen and created, and I'm resisting it, so I'm suffering through it, where in reality it's actually here for me to experience what I've desired at first. And then I'm missing it because I'm still attached to the illusion of what I think it should be instead,
Yeah.
And so to me, it's often letting go of that, the success and the fulfillment, the freedom and the love that we could be experiencing. It's available right now. Is often being blocked by the illusion we're attached to, how different it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I totally agree.
It's like, and how we think we're not where we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So that's the reminder for me, a great reminder that I constantly seem to get over and over, because I like to choose to forget about that.
there's this deeper level that's like really gonna trip you out, I feel like. You saying the battery's low over there?
15% left.
Okay, so you can just, when it's time to go, you just go, and it'll
Give us
probably
some
when it's time for you to go.
Perfect, it's 8:30 anyway, so.
Oh, is that what we're done?
Well,
We're,
just start,
Starting to.
might be
yeah.
a song.
We're just starting to
Yes.
get really excited. Yeah, we have a song.
That's so
But there's a line I say sometimes, which is, everything is perfect, including your desire to change it.
Yes, yes.
I just love that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Everything is perfect, because I didn't realize that at first. At first I thought like, oh, my desire to change it is bad. You know, I need to get rid of this desire to change it, you know? But when I'm like, wait a second, if everything is perfect, then that would include my desire to change it, right?
Yes.
So it's like, that's the beauty of this thing is it's all inclusive.
Yes.
You know, it welcomes everything, it
But what
embraces
about
everything.
but what about the resistance and the suffering? No, that too.
Yeah. Yeah. And the paradox is when you embrace the resistance, then it relaxes.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only way to actually relax it.
I think that word perfect is challenging though.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's come up at other retreats.
Yes.
And people have been like, you know, when they lost someone they love or, you know,
Yeah.
the word perfect just doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, what we're talking about is a different kind of perfect. You know,
Yeah.
it's perfect in the now of whatever's arising,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think that it can be confusing to people. It's kind of like what John's saying is you can get in the mind and going, well, no, it's not perfect because it should be like this.
Right.
But we're saying more like just being with what is. Just loving what is, including if you feel whatever. Including if you feel sad that someone died. Including if you feel depressed, you know, including whatever it is, like, you know, love what is.
And
Love
that's-
what is, be with what is.
That's the beauty of the essence of what we are as the container, the
Mhm.
creator of all that is, like the true us, the oneness, that infinite, mysterious force, whatever, is like, if you think about it, whatever that ultimate source is, which is us and we're extensions of, it's not only allowing but empowering all of it to be chosen and created, the infinite possibilities in the ways we choose. It's like complete acceptance of it. I mean, it's like not judging it at all. It's empower. Okay, you want to be pissed off at the world,
Yeah.
or you want to be miserable, bitter,
Yeah.
or you want to be happy. You choose whatever you want. It allows. That's our true essence
Yeah.
and what we are. And of course, we get to choose how to express it.
Yeah.
So yeah, going back to what you said, that loving space, when we align with that, suddenly we become more like that, expressing in this dimension. And so instead of feeling the resistance, there's more acceptance and more even unity or union with, knowing that the content's not the real, but the essence powering it, and the consciousness and the energy that allows it is what we are, right? And that, I think that you, like we begin to flow and dance with it and not make it such a big deal, you know, not make it like when we
Dance with the moment.
yeah, dance with it. So anyway.
Yeah. Anybody else anything they want to share?
I was gonna say, when you asked people to raise their hand, I didn't raise mine for that reason. I think I just come to accept that this, you know, is how it's supposed to be and how it's supposed to unfold, and you know, things have been shifting for me, so by thinking that way or believing that way.
Nice.
Yeah, it's an incredible paradox. It's like when you start accepting what is, your life starts changing. You know, in amazing ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even accepting the mundane feeling that you may be feeling of,
Yeah.
God damn it, why did this change?
And it's awesome to be in a string together, you know, like I think community is really important. So like to support each other and just keep showing up together. And some of you, like we've been on the string together for years, and some, you know, new, and it's just valuable. It's valuable to be able to reflect each other.
Yeah.
So
Agree.
grateful to everyone out there watching as well now and in the future. Thanks for being here. John's going to play a song, and I have a couple of logistical questions. Do you have a sign-in
Yeah, so
sheet that we could,
I will put it in the back, or actually, you know.
you
if
could
we
pass
want
it
to
around.
Pass it
maybe,
around.
Yeah.
Do you,
And is there a basket for,
there is a basket, yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll put, I don't know if you want to pass this around.
whatever you think for that?
You know, just so.
Whatever the cultural norm is here.
Whatever you might feel led to share with John and Brian, we'll leave this in the back.
And do you wanna?
I think I've been, I was gonna say, I think I've been here, maybe this is the third time that I've
That's
been
right,
here.
yeah, I think you've
Yeah.
been about 3 times.
So it feels,
Familiar, right?
it feels like, yeah, it feels good.
And yet it's
Feels
changing.
good to be here. Yeah, it's evolving
It's evolving.
and growing.
We love Trinity's got a new sound system now.
Yeah, it sounds much better.
Better sound
That's
better.
awesome.
Used to go in and out, and now it's got booming speakers in back and front. They did a good job, so let's see what it sounds like musically. I was gonna ask you if you wanted to tell about our special
I could tell you,
thing, but first.
nothing's really special now.
That's-
Sorry, that's a whole other conversation.
Wanna do
How about the
music?
song first?
Yeah, let's do that. Even my not having a pick right now is perfect. There's a feeling we all want. Sometimes it seems impossible, but it's truly what you came here for. Let me show you how to feel it more. Yeah, a feeling once you learn to navigate, accepting all you contemplate. Let go, my friend, and don't resist. Trust into this and feel the bliss. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not hard when you choose differently. What you want ain't always what you think, so be here now. Accept it all and just allow. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everything's exactly how it should be. Suffering's resisting what you don't wanna feel. Accept it all and be healed. Whatever comes up in your soul, recognize it all and just let go. Release the labels, let it flow. Allow and know what you know. If your feelings, thoughts, and stimuli are all a part of the divine, then all is well and always is. Trust into this and feel the bliss. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not hard when you choose differently. What you want ain't always what you think, so be here now. Accept it all and just allow. Yeah, yeah. Everything's exactly how it should be. Suffering's resisting what you don't wanna feel. Accept it all and be healed, yeah. Before you were born, you chose this life to remember you were love and light. Understand that it's all here for you. A plan to help you know the truth. The divine uses everything to show you its love while you remembering. If there's one thing you can trust, you can always count on love. Yeah, 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 yeah. No, 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 no. You can always count on love. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, do 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 do. There's a feeling we all want. Sometimes it seems impossible, but it's truly what you came here for. Let me show you how to feel it more. Yeah. everything's exactly how it should be. Suffering's resisting what you don't wanna be. Accept it all and be healed, yeah. Funny how the song seemed to fit the conversation.
I feel one more song. That's what
You
I
do?
I don't know.
Okay.
if you feel-
Want to do the announcement first and then one more song?
Okay.
Let's do it.
So the big announcement, so some of you beautiful people were with us last year for our New Year's Eve retreat. And some of you weren't, but we are excited to announce that we're going to have another one. This is in Gainesville, Florida, at the Gainesville Retreat Center. It was such a beautiful experience last year. We were blessed to go spend some time with Michael Singer, if you guys know him. He's the New York Times best-selling author of Untethered Soul. He has the Temple of the Universe there, and he does a talk, and we're going to go spend some time at his beautiful temple, and we have kirtan, and could y'all not hear me?
Well, I was thinking more of the online stuff.
Okay, so the New Year's Eve retreat, the Big Glow New Year's Eve retreat, Saturday, December 29th through Monday, January 1st. So it's just really exciting. We all bring in the new year together. We have amazing vegetarian food and community and beautiful yoga, ecstatic dance. I mean, it's very much in the moment. Breath work.
All kinds of goodies.
So a beautiful, beautiful way to bring the New Year's Eve in together. So we're announcing it tonight.
It may be a different way than you're used to in the past, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yeah, it's
That's
not
right.
If you catch my
necessarily
drift.
Jägermeister New Year shots. No, that could be a private thing. But it's very community and it's very much in the moment.
Yeah.
You know, we'll have some plans, but yet if we end up going in a different direction because that's what we're called, then that's what we do. But the connection is amazing, and I know, we have become so close. The Big Love family is a family.
Yeah.
So we would love for you guys to join us. We'll ask you if you want to sign the list so we can get your information, but tonight we are doing a discounted rate. The actual rate, so it's a 3-night retreat, all your food, your lodging. The rate is $650, but for tonight it would be $600, and you could put a deposit down of $200
To lock that in.
And that rate, that $600 rate is good for a week, so if you're
You got until God knows how long to pay it off.
yeah, we can
That's pretty
spread
good.
it out,
Spread it out.
over
That's only $25 a month. Come on.
But it is, I know some people that are here had a beautiful time last year, so we'd love for you guys to join us, and we'll pass around the list to sign in if you want to say anything.
Well, I love to get, regardless, I'd love to get people's names and
Yeah, if you're not already on
emails
the
and
list.
shit. Yeah. I wanted to add to that too, that it's also about setting intentions in the resolution for the new year, which I think is really powerful to come together and kind of get started that way for the new year. In a really aligned way
Yeah.
together. So.
And it's beautiful, the experience we have of letting go together.
Yeah.
Like, in the intimacy that's created, the time away that allows us to let go of these old operating systems.
Yeah.
Start recognizing and releasing them.
Yeah.
So we are able to step out and shift it. Like we've upgraded together.
Yeah.
We go out and then we continue to upgrade more and more.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful exploration of that to me. Yeah. Cool. For those watching online, there's a bit.ly link that's active now, bit.ly/ and it's BG for Big Love. So BGNYE for New Year's Eve, Big G NYE. I believe it's 2. Is that right? It's either 2 or 2018, but I believe it's just the number 2 for like Big Love New Year's Eve, second year.
It would be 2019.
Or yeah, so it's BGNYE2. So type in bit.ly/ BGNYE2, number 2. It'll take you to the landing page. Awesome. So we'll close with a I think is also appropriate. We need to put that video on the landing
Yeah.
page. I just thought about that. I forgot to do that.
That.
Check. Just went out. Can you check my pocket for me?
I check your pocket.
I got something in there for
Say something.
Check 1, 2. Wow, it just completely went out. Huh?
Maybe it unplugged it from here.
That's
But
so
it's
weird.
It's a small group. So
Yeah, it's small. I'll project. There is a space in my heart where I find the truth. I find me in you, a truth beyond what you may see now. But when we are one, we bring more good about. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love and welcome to peace. Welcome to our community. And be who you are and let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. See when new eyes allow and unfold, embrace and let go, trust the flow. There's a freedom in love when you follow your heart. Together we are stronger than we could ever be apart. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love and welcome to peace. Welcome to our community. And be who you are and let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Breathe in and out. Slowly feel all that's around you and all that you feel and all that you know. Let it go.